Welcome everybody back to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're racing the 1995 Toyota MR2 GT in A-Class. So we've given this some fairly hefty upgrades. It's now got 405 horsepower out of its 2.4 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, and as you can see by the stats, they're all fairly good. The launch isn't the best, but the speed, handling, acceleration and braking are all fairly consistent, which is always nice to see. So yeah, but obviously giving a car that only had about 227 horsepower thereabouts originally, more than 400, well that, without giving it extra, all-wheel drive or anything like that, is probably going to ask a fair deal out of this. But it does have semi-slick tyres, does have wider tyres, does have less weight. It's not got a better gearbox, unfortunately. I couldn't find the PI to fit one of those in, so it's still only got its 5-speed gearbox. But it's still able to get up to 177 miles an hour with that fast speed, so yeah, not too shabby at all. And yeah, basically upgrading the engine, all I really did was enlarge the engine block to 2.4 litres from 2 litres and stuck a big fat racing turbocharger on it, which yeah, gave us all of that extra power. So yeah, it's 178 horsepower thereabouts extra, which is obviously quite a huge number over its standard car. It is a little bit at times oversteery because it is mid-engine and rear-wheel drive and now has way more power than it was ever meant for, but hopefully the upgrades I've given it, like racing suspension, racing brakes and, like I said, wider, slicker tyres will hopefully help. But yeah, no idea how this is going to perform because I've not actually raced it, I've only driven it around on my own, so yeah, it should be interesting, hopefully. And hopefully we'll have no incidents like we did with the Nissan Z car, so which to be fair was my own fault basically, but let's see what we can do here. So yeah, it doesn't have the best launch because it's got all of that power and it's got quite a short first gear, but this is all about the get up and go as far as I'm concerned, and it's got plenty of that. Big shame that Toyota aren't doing anything like this anymore. I would have thought with the likes of Nissan and coming out with the Z car, Toyota wouldn't just bring back the Supra, they'd bring back their MR2 as well. This is like the Supra, one of their mainstay sports car names. Be in the same kind of vein as the Alfa Romeo 4C, for instance, or one of the newer Lotus vehicles, but for some reason they've just gone ahead with the Supra. I would have loved them to have brought back the MR2. Sadly that's not the case. This is still a great car in stock form or otherwise. Fairly well here. Really rather light and nimble. It only weighs, what is it now? Have a look. Corner, £2,331, which is, yeah, pretty light indeed when you consider how much power it's now got. Sure, it's having to put that power through the same old gearbox, but for the most part the gearbox is dealing with it okay. 177 top speed is not exactly a slow top speed at all, especially given for a 5-speed gearbox, so very close between me and the Golf. just thinks has the extra bit of acceleration out of the corners and an all-wheel drive, so I'll put that down to that. But still, 4th place for our first race in this car, which is, as you can see, slap bang in the middle. Yeah, fairly pleased with that, quite frankly. And the fact is, we're, I think, the 2nd oldest car here, and definitely the oldest in the top 5, so that's perfectly reasonable by me, to be honest. Especially considering the Golf and the Lancer are all-wheel drive, and the Ferrari at the end of the day is a Ferrari, so yeah, I'm pleased with that. So let's get on to the 2nd race, see how we do on here. So yeah, we're now able to do 0 to 60 in 4.737 seconds, and 0 to 100 in 9.454 seconds. So that's proper, you know, modern sports car kind of territory in that regard. So yeah, I'm overall really rather pleased with it. I'm not sure if it would be any good in a higher class, because obviously that means then you'd have to put even more power into it, probably have to put an engine upgrade, swap into it, then all-wheel drive as well. Not sure how all-wheel drive would work with this car, but still, in A class I'm feeling like it's pretty good. And that first race has given me reasonable confidence, but you can never know with these races being online. You never know how other people are going to perform, whether or not they're going to be sporting or not, and yeah, that can obviously present some issues, especially if you get purposely pushed out of a checkpoint area when you're just about to cross it, which has happened to me before, so hopefully that won't happen here. Hoping for at least 4th place or higher. If we can match our previous race, then I'll be happy with that. I never expect to win on these races because, like I said, literally anything can happen with these. So yeah, it's not no real point getting too irate about whether or not you're going to win or not. Especially with me and my bad launch on this car. All of that lag that is quite clearly going on. I have no idea if I actually pushed him or that was a lag push or not. I didn't mean to. Speed. That was not intentional on my part. The car just stepped out on me. See, this is why you don't get irate about winning or not, because something like that can just happen and can negatively impact. Race a countryman, but you know, it's some people's tastes and I can't mock them for that, considering I'd probably race something as mental as a car like that sometimes. Too busy looking behind me. Yeah, nowhere near as good as last time. Purely down to that wall collision, which Obviously in part was my fault, but you know, it wasn't to gain an advantage or anything like that, so I think that wall collision aspect is a little bit hit or miss on whether or not it actually penalises the right people, but regardless, 7th place is all we're going to get on that race, unfortunately. But at least we're just about halfway there, and more than halfway on the overall leaderboard, so yeah, let's see if we can hold on into the top 5 at least. I'd be fine with that. Top 5 is nothing to be ashamed of. So yeah, there's probably many other ways you could upgrade this car. As I said with the Nissan Z vehicle in the previous version of this kind of episode that we did. There's many different ways you can upgrade a car. You could just give it all-wheel drive and just pump it full of power and hope that the all-wheel drive will make up for any handling issues, which a lot of people do, which is, again, fine, but I like to have a little bit more of a compromise between the handling and the power. I never see the point in fully going handling or fully going into the horsepower aspect, because if you go into the fully horsepower aspect, then yeah, you will shoot off the line, you will have high top speed, high acceleration and all that lot, but when it comes to a corner you'll be pretty useless. And the same goes for handling. If you go pure for handling, then yeah, you'll be great around the corners, but if you're on a circuit or a point-to-point race that has a long straight, then you will be dead in the water. So yeah, there's always going to be a compromise with these kind of things. It's just whether or not you strike that right balance between handling and the power. Certainly feel like I could get a better launch by changing the gearbox. So I'd have to compromise on something with that. Probably downgrade the power or have to put in a little bit of extra weight, but that would probably be worth it to at least get a decent launch. Countryman there missed their checkpoint. I know how awful it is to have that happen to you. Does have very good handling up front, this car. Feel the fact that there's very little weight up there. Certainly no understeer or anything like that. Let's get top 5 at least. Not looking like it's going to happen. Just when you think it's not going to happen, it happens. Yes. Looks like the Golf and that Skyline now has done exactly what I was talking about, giving an all-wheel drive car a hell of a lot of power and to hell with the handling. But yeah, we got the top 5 there, so we should hopefully still be in the top 5 overall. Let's see. Come on. What have we done? Give me the results. Yep, top 5. By 3 points at least. So yeah, that's a good showing from the MR2 there. Like I said, you can upgrade it in many different ways, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a really great A-class tune out there to try out. But yeah, I'm pleased with the way I've done it. Obviously, I would like the launch to be a bit better, but you know, you live and learn at the end of the day. But yeah, nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.